All right. Hi, guys, and welcome to the inaugural meeting of Subscribe and Rise. And this is something that I was guided to begin. Uh, Probably came in about a month ago, but wanted to make sure that I planned and gave everybody enough time to see it, take interest, or see it, basically. And I know that there's a lot of people that wanted to be here today, but couldn't be for personal reasons, work reasons, whatever the case is. So this is actually going to be recorded and put onto YouTube for people to be able to replay and see what's what. So I'm going to give just a little bit of a taste of what is going to be going on during these. I said twice monthly calls, but it's really going to depend on the month. What I decided was to have these calls every 14 days. So literally every other week of getting together and being able to have direct access to me. I know that I have a few podcasts where I have interaction with people there, but this is a more intimate setting where you can actually be on camera or not and have a conversation with me directly twice a month, basically, or every other 14 days or every 14 days. And I'll get to everything that it's going to entail later on. I pulled out some cards because I'm going to do this pretty much every time we get together, just as a collective gathering. And I love the cards that came out today. I didn't even write anything up, so this is literally winging it just so you get a feel for what's going to happen. All right. Because I pulled up the Seven of Wands first. And this one is talking about protecting what is your own. And that's pretty much why we're here, because we want to learn how to protect what's ours and be able to get through all of the storms of life. Because there's so many storms. Life happens, and it doesn't matter how much mental work you do. There's going to be something that is going to come up that's going to throw you off guard, that's going to cause feelings to shift, thoughts to shift. So learning how to make sure that everything is going the way that we want it to and being able to get through it. So that's the Seven of Wands, and Seven of Cups came up right after it. I was so fun, or I was so happy to see this card because this is about being able to choose. Because life is full of choices, and you have all these shinies that you can pay attention to or not. You have all of these different options. You can decide how you want to respond. You can decide if you want to react, and it's literally learning and programming what goes on so that you can get through and manage things a little bit easier than before. Is it rough at first? Sure. But that's because this next guy, judgment, we all have it. We all have this inner judgment of how we think about ourselves, how we feel about ourselves. And trust me, I didn't pull these cards just in this order so that I could talk about them this way. They literally fell out of the deck while I was shuffling, and I was just amazed because we all are too hard on ourselves. And a lot of it comes from the external feedback that we get from everybody around us. And we can either take it personally and react, or we can take it personally and respond, or we can choose to not take it personally at all, because half the time it isn't about us, the reaction or the responses that we're getting from other people. Sometimes it's just shit. But, and yes, I will swear every once in a while just because that's who I am. There's magic inside each and every one of us. And that's one of the biggest things that I want everyone to be able to take away from getting together every month, twice a month, every other week. Because there's so much magic inside that so many people haven't tapped into. And I want them to be able to tap into it. Because all of us, every single human being on the face of this planet has internal universal wisdom. It's born into our DNA. It's who we are. We just haven't tapped into it. We haven't had the breakthroughs that we need because we've forgotten about that internal magic. But once we tap back into it, once we start to recognize and understand everything that's going on around us, inside of us, how our thoughts are impeding on our feelings, how you can't have a feeling without a thought, how without having a consciousness, you can't have a thought, how without having a mind to have that consciousness, to have that thought, they don't work without each other. So that's some of the kind of magic that I want to help to bring you guys. And the hangman, because so many people are just hanging around, sitting in their own stuff, not knowing what to do, not understanding, just going through the motions, watching the world go by. Oh, poor me. And that's not an insult. That's just a feeling. If you choose to take it as an insult, that's on you. Because it's not. Because a lot, even me, every once in a while, I will get into a, oh my God, poor me, and want pity from all around me because I can't figure out how to work through it on my own. And sometimes I just need that external push. That's another reason for this offering. And once again, I did not plan these cards. They just fell out of the deck this way. That's why I love bringing this to you, because nothing is random. Nothing happens without some type of synchronicity. And the more that you pay attention to the synchronicities in your life, the broader your perspective and your vision of the world and yourself is going to expand. And hopefully find that strength, because so many people don't recognize how much strength they actually have. Meanwhile, they're trying to find it all the time around them in the world that they're living in. But it's inside. And through this program and through this offering, it'll be an opportunity for when you're having those times to get directly in contact with me. So what's more about? That's the end of that. I think that pretty much summed up the message that I needed it to. I was so grateful. I was like, I don't even have to write anything about this, because a lot of times I'll do a collective reading and I will be sitting at my computer for a half hour, 45 minutes to an hour, typing away what it is that I want to say, just so that I don't forget. But this one was just bam, right there. So, sales pitch, real quick. How much is it? I know everybody wants to know that. Well, I'll tell you how much it's not. Because to work with me for just an hour, one-on-one, nobody else around, nobody watching, it's $100 an hour, minimum. And that's if I really like you. Just teasing. It's $100 for now. But 2025, who knows? It may go up. So it's not $100. What else is it? It's a minimum of 2 hours a month. Yeah, you're going to be in and around other people, but it's still 2 hours minimum. If we have a longer conversation and people need my attention, I'll go a little bit longer. I don't have a problem with that. I love having conversations with people, and I love seeing people have breakthroughs. And when somebody witnesses someone else have a breakthrough, and I've been witness to this. I've had the blessing of being in a group setting where a coach works with one of the other coaches or clients, and you can just see it. And whatever it was that the client was having issue with, I was able to recognize something in myself. So that's why I was like, okay, all right, guys, guidance is knocking on my door saying, you need to reach more people. Okay, how do I do that? Group call. Okay, what do I need to do? You need to do it twice a month. Okay. All right. Well, twice a month kind of averages out to be about every 14 days, because there are 52 weeks in a year, so half of that is 26. That's about twice a month. And I'm throwing in a few other things. I'll talk about those later. But to start this group right now, it's going to be $30 a month. And that's 2 hours a month with me. I have it set up with Stripe. A link is going to drop at 2:30 onto the Facebook page if you're interested. I'm not adding it to this, and for those watching the replay, I will be dropping the link once this is uploaded to YouTube so that if you are interested, you can gain access to it there. And there's a bonus with it. And for the people that are here, it's even better bonus because you get the first call free. You have 15 days to decide. So you can go ahead and once that link drops, you can click on it, subscribe, and Stripe will take care of it every month, and they'll just drop it in for me, and that's okay. I'm cool with that. And then you get the link once I get the email that it's taken care of. And then, if you don't like it, day 14, cancel. If you don't like it after a month or don't feel like you need it anymore after a month, cancel. There's no obligation. There's no time limit. The only time limit you have is if you don't want it to come out because there's no refunds. If you don't want it to come out, cancel before it comes out. That's it. Pretty easy. But before I get into any more that I'm going to offer with this, does anyone here have any questions so far? If you do, please use the react button below. You'll see your raise hand. And as I see the raise hands, I will call on you. I got to change my view so I can see everybody who's not on camera. There we go. Now I can see everybody. Oh, you're all so polite. Nobody has any questions? One of my mentors, David Key, whenever he has a group class and everybody is just kind of, well, I don't want to be the only one. I don't want to be the first one. I don't want to be the icebreaker. Ah, we got Miss Andrea. Go ahead and unmute Andrea.
All right, it's Andrea. And I
Andrea, I'm sorry.
It can be pronounced so many different ways, and people always get it wrong. Now, what do I do with those cards? So Micah and I met last night. This is just more of a comment and an endorsement because it was very serendipitous, our meeting last night. And you did a brief reading and we had a great discussion, and he was so on point and on target with the things that he was sharing with me. And I had other plans today, but I really felt there was something so important about our meeting. It really touched my heart. And it's very rare because despite all of my own abilities, I automatically distrust anybody else with those same exact abilities. It's a very funny thing, but I am the ultimate skeptic if it hasn't been my own personal experience, whether that's psychic, remote viewing, by location, all of those things. And yet I was drawn to you. And you keyed in within about 30 seconds. It was so amazing how our energy connected. And so before I was about to walk out the door 15 minutes ago, I said, let me just do a quick reading and see, maybe I'm missing something important here. And as I texted you that photo and said, you better send me the link, I got the Hierophant for you. And then I got the Nine of Swords reversed. And it's all good for anybody who doesn't know. It's all good. It showed me that I needed to take a step to get into a more structured environment, perhaps. And that the person that I met, being you last night, would probably be that good person to connect with. So it was just reinforcing a lot of messages. And of course, the Nine of Swords reversed is all about healing and massive change.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like there's no going back.
No, there really isn't. I mean, once you start pulling out the pain points, and that's what the nine and 10 of swords are all about.
Right.
because either one, you can
But that's
literally
what I meant, the
just
10 of swords,
sit.
yeah.
Yeah, that's okay.
When
That's
you said the
okay.
nine.
But they are very, very similar.
Mm.
I mean, the Nine of Swords is literally approaching the Ten of Swords. It's like, oh God, I've got all of these problems. And then you got the Ten of Swords. It's like, okay, well, do you want to, how's that working for you? You want to hold on to it or do you want to pull them out
Yeah.
one by one? Because you know that if, when it comes to pain points, and that's what, and it has many meanings, but that's what I'm being drawn to talk about right now when it comes to the Ten of Swords, is that you don't want to pull out everything all at once. Why? Because have you
You
ever
bleed to death?
exercised too hard? You ever exercise too hard, too much, and then a few days later you're crawling?
Yeah.
Well, emotions are pretty much the same way. And things that you haven't dealt with are pretty much the same way. You can't handle everything you've been through, getting rid of it all at once.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anybody that should.
No,
It takes a very rare person to be able to handle that much awareness all at once.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that you followed the light of the Hierophant, because
Yeah.
in one of my decks, the Raven's Prophecy Tarot, it's based on the Rider-Waite as well. And her drawing of the Hierophant, or her picture of the Hierophant, is literally just a lantern. Nothing else. Just a lit lantern. And it's following that internal light, being where you feel called to be and not ignoring the signs as they come along. And synchronicity. It happens.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I almost ignored the signs. And I never pull the cards for myself for sort of a yes, no answer. And I had my purse in my hand and look, I got my scarf on. I was ready to go. And I said, let me just see, because maybe I'll get one more reinforcing message. And other than just listening to my own guidance, like, I probably should do this, because I also listened to just one of your podcasts, your YouTube discussions. And I just randomly said, let me just pull from a hat, pick the regret, and which is dealt with a lot of the things that we briefly touched on last night when we spoke. And I'm like, oh, I just keep getting this message hitting home today, and I really need to probably listen to it. So here I am.
And when things like that happen, not just should I go to this call, but in general, when you hit a roadblock and you have a question, should I leave yet? Or if something continuously prevents you, it's a sign, typically.
Mm.
Unless you're just a huge procrastinator, and then that's a completely different discussion. But many times, oh my God, I'm running so late. I got to be somewhere. And all of these things happen, the faucet leaks, or you get a flat tire, or the battery's dead, or the electricity goes off while you're trying to curl your hair. Whatever the case is, I could come up with a million things, but I'm not going to. But whatever the case is, whatever the stalling is, well, okay, spirit, universe, God, whatever you believe in, what did you prevent?
Oh, yeah. I have literally, and I'm not using the way people use literally, I literally had my life saved 3 times within 5 minutes. We're talking actual lightning strikes twice. Within 5 minutes, with my friend next to me, following those messages and that guidance that came to me immediately, and it saved my life. And that was about 35 years ago. And to this day, if I have even a glimmer of maybe I should go the other way, it'll make me 10 minutes late, I do it. I don't even question. I'm like, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I had a bed and breakfast, and I had a lot of guests after 9/11 who recounted stories of shoulda, coulda, woulda been in the building. My ex-husband was one of them. He should have been there that day. And our daughter called him on Friday and asked him to change his airline ticket to come one day earlier because they were over in Italy. And he didn't want to do it. He didn't have the money. But he finally, she was crying. She was, maybe 7 years old and begging him to change his airline ticket. And he finally did. And he went in the building to say goodbye to all his friends, 9 a.m. because he worked there. And so on Monday at 9 a.m., he went in to say goodbye to everybody instead, or he would have lost his life with them. So when those messages come, it's so important that we don't doubt them, whether you believe God is sending you the message or the universe or your angels or your spirits, or it's just your own innate picking up on the energy of the area. That's so important to trust those messages.
Absolutely.
If there's a bad outcome, that's exactly what's supposed to happen for your growth and on the journey.
Mm-hmm.
And it's important to keep
I know that in future calls, we're going to be having a lot of conversations about that. Yes. Because a lot of people are like, well, why does this keep happening? Well, let's talk. Yeah.
I'm going to let you answer. It looks like Karen's on the line right now, so I'm going to mute.
Thank you. But thank you for the endorsement. I really appreciate it. It was such a synchronous meeting last night, and I really, really enjoyed it and our conversation as well. Karen, and you can go ahead and put your hand down, Andrea. That way you don't have to keep it up. Oh, Karen, if you want to go ahead and unmute. There you go.
Yeah, okay. Well, of course I was listening, and the first thing I actually was about is Andrea. Andrea was her name? Is her name?
Andrea.
Andrea. Okay, that's a more Dutch pronouncement. Andrea said that it is most of the times a guiding for protection. Sometimes, in my experience, sometimes like how I heard you were guided to do this, what you are doing now. Sometimes it's not so much to get you away from what you are about to do, but to get you pushed towards something that is in that moment more important for you or others.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Also, I had this well, I'm not sure if it is in fact a question, but she and Andrea also put up the word doubt, and that we don't have to doubt, but I do doubt a lot, even to the point that it's sometimes maybe getting me mad not doing anything anymore, because I'm constantly asking, is it me? Is it my head that wants this or thinks that I need to do this or that? Or is it really from my heart or from the guides? And yeah, there's a lot of doubt, in a certain afraidness that anything should be against what I am guided to.
Now, I'm going to address this real quick, because when I go to events like I was at last night and I'm offering readings, typically I don't go what I call sideshow.
What does that mean?
A lot of people who provide readings provide a glimpse into the future for the people who receive the readings. A lot of people make a lot of money, do very well. They are not wrong. However, for me, I have always felt like that was a sideshow gig to present that.
It's also a sort of manifestation towards others. If I tell you, if you are blank and I tell you that in the future this or that, your mind will focus on that outcome that I am telling you that is so-called in the cards, and then it will be that outcome or something close to it.
Right. And I also tell people that while there may be a future that is destined for every human being on the planet. If somebody comes up to me and says, am I going to be rich? Am I going to get that job? Is he going to text me back? Questions like that. Typically, I don't know. It's not my style. But for the purposes of the entertainment factor last night, because I was kind of a sideshow entertainer for a lot of people, which is fine. I had fun. But it's not something that I typically turn to, because whenever somebody asks those types of questions, my typical response, if you have to ask, there's already doubt.
Yeah, and the questions are also, how you call that in English, a preference. Like it's, what is my a perception? Those are all perceptions. Am I going to be rich? What is rich? Yes, you are. It's just
Right.
you're rich or mine.
Right. And I actually had a young child ask me a yes or no question last night, which was very awkward, because it was a question of, am I going to be successful when I grow up?
Dangerous.
I answered that. And I answered truthfully. I said yes. Because that was what I felt. Did I see what she was going to be successful at? No, because she hadn't decided yet. She hadn't gone through her life with a dream. But I told her, and her mother was standing there watching me and smiling the whole time, that she can achieve the success that she longs for. And there are going to be people in her way, her whole life, telling her that she's not good enough, that she's not capable, that she doesn't fit. But if she holds on to that dream, that vision, and stays true to herself, that she'll get to where she wants to go. And her mother turned to me as they were walking away. Thank you.
Yeah, of course you said it right, but I'm like, wow. Isn't it heartbreaking that a little kid already asks you these kind of questions?
Another reason for
Do
this
I
type
need
of
to be
group.
successful? Sorry, what did you say?
Another reason for this type of group.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are dealing with what I call, and so many others call, programming from everyone around us. When we're growing up, this young child just got out of the sponge period of life, where she was taking in everything around her, and it's all jumbled up right now because she's trying to absorb it and figure out and find her way based on what she's told, what she's taught, where she's pointed, what she sees.
Was she around 10-ish years
Yes.
old?
And so many, especially in the older generations. I know we have a couple here that are in the one right below me. But so many in the older generations are trying to catch up to the new programming, and I mean that in every essence of the word, that is happening at the speed of light around us. Meanwhile, holding on to our traditions, our beliefs, our standards, and going, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, well, now I'm doubting to set up my Christmas tree if it's Christmas time.
If you want to
because
set
it's
up your Christmas tree on Valentine's Day, you set up your Christmas tree on Valentine's Day and you be okay with that and don't doubt it.
yeah, but I love
I'm
my Christmas tree
serious.
more when it's Christmas.
Programming. Don't wear white pants after Labor Day. Who the hell came up with that? For what? And that's my attitude.
When is it?
If I want to wear white year round, I'm going to wear white year round. Hello. I did it today
The
on
real
purpose.
question should be what is before and what is after Labor Day.
Well, before Labor Day is summertime. After Labor Day is eventually fall. I've never understood it.
Summertime,
I've
what is
never
that these
understood it.
days?
But I need to get moving through because
Yeah.
I want to try and be done by 2 today. Let me talk a little bit
Okay.
more about the subscription. When somebody signs up, if you miss a call, it's okay. There's no pressure. You're going to be able to see what was talked about and get from it. And I can almost guarantee if you've watched any of the messengers or any of Omega Empowerment or any of Phoenix Talks, you know that if there's a message for you, I'm going to feel it on air and I'm going to give it. I may not say your name because I may not have a name, but it will be along the lines of, okay, someone watching this either live or in the replay. And that's what you listen out for. And you will get the message that you need to get. And it's every single one of the calls are going to be organic. I have no agenda. I'll probably do a collective reading every time. I'll open it up for questions. If some coaching or just inspiration that I want to share with everybody comes through, I'll do it that way too. But I will be creating a private playlist on YouTube and putting the weekly recordings or the bi-weekly recordings in that playlist. So if you miss the call, you'll still have access to what was said. I'm also, if you know ahead of time that you're going to miss a call, I will give you the opportunity to private message me. I will not answer in the message, but I will give the opportunity to private message. I think I'm going to keep the Subscribe and Rise community open in the group chat. So if you have a question and you know you're not going to be able to attend, go ahead and throw it in there. I'll address it. And we may not be able to have a tete-a-tete or a one-on-one, but you'll get what I have to say. And everybody else will be able to enjoy it too. Because there's something for everybody in any of these types of things. So far, you know that it is $30 a month. And I think Stripe is accepted worldwide. So there are many ways that it offers to go ahead and pay that. We know that it's going to be every 14 days. We know that, including the people that are here, you're going to get a free call to decide if you want to continue. And then after that free call, every month on that day, it's going to come out. Cancel at any time. If you don't like it after the first call, cancel. No harm, no foul, and no hard feelings. I have a lot of clients that I've never spoken to again, never seen them again. That's when I know they got what they needed. And they were done. And that's okay. As long as I can make an impact in people's lives, that's all I care about. Doesn't matter the length of time. Andrea, I met just last night. She could have come up, gotten her $15 reading, never spoken to me again, spent 7 minutes total with me, and never seen her again. And she got exactly what she needed. And that's not a place of error. It's just, I'm repeating what she said. Okay, but there's more. If you stick with a subscription, 3 months after the 4th month is paid for, I'm going to unlock the what vulnerability. I almost said validation. I always go back to the first Phoenix talks for some reason. But I have a vulnerability masterclass. It's 2 Zoom calls that I did earlier in the year. There will be access unlocked for that. Stick around for 6 months, and I'm going to unlock my should unshould chakra series that I put together earlier this year. Both of those are about $120 that you'll just get. Watch when you want to, watch when you need to. So, bonuses. I may even throw some extras in. I'm a giving person. You never know what I'm going to do. Especially for those that help me kick it off. So I'm going to open it up one more time. I see Hildy. I see Kimberly. I see Willow, and I see Steve. You guys have any questions? You want a reading? Anyone want a reading? I'm here for that too. You want to scan? I'll do that too. Oh, I forgot to mention that. Yeah, that's part of it. Energy scans, readings, chakra checks. I see Hildy putting her camera on. And she's quietly cursing me in Dutch.
Can I talk?
Yes.
Okay. I don't have the latest version of Zoom, so bad on me because I cannot put my hand up. I'm
That's okay.
sorry about that.
That's okay.
No, energy reading the, or I would, if you,
Okay. I'm feeling pressure on both sides, middle back, right at the base of my rib cages on either side. I'm feeling a little bit anger has built up,
strange.
making what you deal with already a little bit more difficult to deal with on a physical level, on a physical pain level. And I know that because we used to talk so often that things have been happening, and it feels like a roller coaster ride. Like you've had some ups, you've had some downs, but the down slopes were a little bit more difficult to come back up. But once you did, you were fine. And you're also doing it at a faster rate than you used to. Congratulations.
Out of, I didn't understand that word. Out of,
Releasing, not holding on to,
yeah.
not letting it affect you like it used to, but there's still some anger issues that are going on that just don't seem to go away. I know some of the history because we have worked together in the past, but I know that some of those issues may be amping up.
Maybe I'm not sure about it, but could be. But
How's your
I had
ankles?
they're actually very good.
Good.
I mean, I can't even tell you that I'm walking again.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is. It is amazing.
Because I don't know why my attention was drawn to them, but now I understand the feeling that I had because it was enough to point out, but not a problem. If
Yeah,
that makes sense.
and I think it might make sense about the anger. There is anger that I don't see exactly as anger. I don't want to use that cursing word, but I'm pretty angry on all of the doctors that refused to give me the right medicine for about 17 years.
And because of that refusal, what I'm feeling in the back has amplified, and now it's more difficult to
Yes.
medicate and maintain pain.
I am very, very excited about finally getting the right medication. So it literally took me a few months, like a few months. I guess you know how many months to just be able to walk again. And I'm proud of myself, and I'm so thankful for it. But you know, when you get something, you always have to give something. So it's like I'm okay with, well, this pain is not gonna go away, but I don't care for the first time in my life. I don't care that the pain is not gonna go away, because being able to walk is so much better, that the pain falls into nothing
Hmm.
with being able just to walk. Just for the first time last week, I've been driving even my car. I mean, like, I wouldn't have imagined that. Like last year, I couldn't even imagine that. It's, but I don't understand why they all had to. It, why couldn't I get that same medicine not 17 years ago? And I know it's quite new. It's quite new medicine for MS, but I'm like, it's been there a little while longer than you tried to give it to me, you know? And that's not, actually, that's not fair of me to think that way.
No, 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 no. You need to take this so that you can understand what I'm about to say. Because sometimes we go through things so that we can understand them later. Sometimes we have shit happen so that we can appreciate it when it doesn't. There's an unspoken level of gratitude. Gratitude isn't always about, oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It isn't always about that. Sometimes the sheer fact of joy and the feeling of freedom, it has the same feeling. So feeling this freedom build
Yeah.
as you strengthen back up is your gratitude, and that's what you had to learn. And the more that you let go of the resentment that it didn't happen sooner, the better you.
Yeah,
And you've experienced that, so you know I'm not kidding.
you know, that's actually why I say I shouldn't, but sometimes the thought's still there. And
That's human.
also because it could have saved my mom's life. And that's also a huge part. But that is not being mad about it, it's sadness. It's like feeling sad about that point. That's okay. There's like lots of feelings, but feelings are okay. Just have to let them, I have to feel them and then let them go slowly. Take my time. It's okay. I feel that way.
Now, this may not be a popular opinion or thought,
So,
but I'm going to say it anyway. When something that happens in our lives to someone else that takes them from our life, and down the road realize that their life could have been saved, why do we get depressed then? Why do we feel that then? And do we take it on such a deep level, missing someone, that we resent for them, that their life could have been extended? Or were they just done?
No, actually, she's back in my life. I'm back in her life. She's still alive, but not alive. But she loves when I come to visit. Just recently, visited her 3 times. You know that I had some. I saw through a lot, and she. I heard from my dad, actually from my dad, that she was every time I would mention to maybe can I come over for a little while, she lifts up. She actually last time I was like, oh my god, this can't happen. She was actually very frightened because she knew I was coming, but my dad always forgot to tell her it might take a while. So she has expecting me like, and I was like, Mom, this is the first time in 25 years or 30 years, and you are now worrying about me not getting there or being in an accident or something. This is crazy. But she's so happy. And she really, I know her pain, I know her, we've got almost the same. So, but it's so hard to see her struggle. But it's even to see in her eyes how she loves to see my face, how she loves my forgiveness. And I know in her eyes that she forgave me also for things we both didn't do. And it's so hard to see her suffering. So yeah, I'm still going to her. I'm doing this because it means a lot, and it means that she's still living. Although I don't know if if she's gonna choose to end it before Christmas. She has made her choice, but now she's like maybe another year. But I don't want to push this. I just want to be there for her that she can, I'm not gonna ask more for her. It's hard to see her suffer, and it's strangely hard and heartwarming to see her rejoice. So that's that. So it's just no, it's still there.
Now, if with Andrea's permission, there was a card that came up for her last night that I want to
Mhm.
share with you.
Okay.
The shaman card came up. In the message that I gave her, I want to extend to you. When people go through awakenings, when there are different things, major changes in life, and we go through them, and it changes us as a result. Natives call that a shaman's death, because you've stripped something that was there, allowing the new to happen. And the suffering that you're watching is the healing that needed to happen, that wasn't happening before. And last night, in between, this card, which I just cut to, it's a transformation card. In this deck, it relates to death directly. But I literally just cut to the deck and pulled this card. It's about honoring the changes, honoring the skins that we are shedding, embracing the new beginnings. So while it's difficult to watch her healing, change that word from suffering to healing. Because if she's on a healing journey, she's moving away from suffering. What did you pull? Is that your death card?
This is the death card. I just pulled it in reverse, like you pulled yours in reverse. I pulled mine in reverse too. I just cut the deck. I said, let me see what happens. There it is. How crazy is that?
It's not.
Talk about reinforcing of messages. That's amazing. Amazing.
So embrace the new.
Mm.
Embrace the healing. I just said a few days ago, I don't remember who it was that I said it to, but I've actually lost count of how many quantum deaths I've had in this lifetime. What is a quantum death? It's where if this was a different reality, I would not be talking to you today. That's a quantum death. That's a quantum reality death. I didn't escape whatever it was that was trying to take me out, or that would have taken me out.
How about calling it a quantum birth?
Exactly.
A new quantum birth.
I
That's
like that.
beautiful put.
It is beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank
So
you.
I don't think I really have much more to talk about when it comes to the subscription. It's going to drop at 2:30, which is about 40 minutes from now, into the main chat, or not the main chat, the main page of Evolve and Emerge. So if you're interested, if you know somebody else who's interested, share the link with them. And I'd love to have them on for that free call, because the first call is free. And they can decide to continue or just go back to the confirmation page, click cancel. It's that easy. Willow, you've been awfully quiet. I know you're still watching and listening. You can type it, you don't have to come on mic. Or come on camera. You don't have to do either. But if you have a question, now's your chance. Oop, click the wrong thing. There's chat. Okay. All right. Okay. Fair enough. Oh. Any parting words of wisdom I want to impart?
How about you read my energy quick? Or do a scan?
Wow, you are really feeling guilty for not going to where it was that you were going to go, but you are enjoying the fact that you did not go.
Yes.
Talk
Absolutely.
about conflict. It literally feels on either side of me like this pull apart, push together.
It's my life these days.
I know, and I watched you. I watched you look at your phone to see what time it was a few minutes ago.
I did. I did.
Okay, one moment,
That's why
Karen.
some
I'll go
people
right
put
to
their cameras off, I think. I'm like, I'm real, I'm here.
Yeah, when I haven't done it in a while, but over on Alignable, I would go to masterminds, and it got to a point where I had to tell people, I'm reading the room the whole time. I'm looking at everybody. I'm looking at their reactions. I'm looking at their facial expressions. I'm looking at their energies to see where they're at because of whatever they might have to offer. If it's going to be from a reactionary place, if it's going to be from a responsible place, whatever the case is. So I was like, I'm reading the room. And there were times that I'd call people out, be like, we need to talk. But that's the main thing in your energy right now is the torn. Stop shooting on yourself.
Yep.
And
The English language.
it
It really is.
And
I
here I
curse
thought
a
I
lot,
had made it
and I
up.
don't think those are bad
Oh
words.
no, I didn't say shitting. I said shoulding.
Oh no, that's what I was referring to. I was referring to should. Every
Yes.
time I think of, I'm about to say to one of my kids or to anybody or to myself, you know what? You should. right away I go, no, we do not use that word. Don't use that word anymore.
Well, there's healthy should, and then there's should of the diarrhea kind, okay? Just to get graphic. The other kind, we need kaopectate for, okay? When we're shoulding on other people.
Yeah.
We should look at things differently. We could instead.
Prefer is a gentler way to say things to ourselves. I prefer not to do that. I prefer to do this instead, or I prefer to do that.
That's lovely.
I try really hard to get rid of that other word, that big S word, because it's just so harsh. And there's so much judgment implied, whether you're judging another person you're shoulding or yourself. But prefer is a positive. It's acknowledging this is a choice I have to make, and which is the choice that I prefer.
Mm-hmm. And
So
also
might
the way
say
that you
I should
emphasize
do-
also the way that you emphasize the word have. I prefer this choice that I have to make. Now, here's the difference. I prefer the choice that I have to make. It's all in how we present what we say.
Yeah, our words are powerful, whether we're addressing ourselves internally or somebody else externally.
Mm-hmm. Don Miguel Ruiz, actually, in the introduction to the Four Agreements, he talks about that, the power of words, and how words are like saying words is like casting a spell. And we actually learned how to spell the words.
Oh, I like that.
And when we are forming sentences, when we are writing out, we are spelling.
Did he say that in the Four Agreements? I read that book when it like 30 some years ago, probably, but I didn't. That's amazing.
Yes.
Good to hear that again. Yeah. That's powerful.
That's one reason why I used it on Facebook for, I think that the friend request was after the story had expired, but I had a picture with the Four Agreements, The Missing Link by Sydney Banks, and a few of the cards, which actually were quite poignant for the post about today.
Was the Four Agreements, was he the one, because this is something I've carried for so many years, I suspect it might have been him, that we are not other people's opinions of ourselves? Was that one of those, or who was?
He might have said that.
Whoever said that, I try to remember that often, that we are not other people's opinions of ourselves. What they think of us that's their shit. That's
I know that the third agreement is don't take things so personally, and he goes into it deeper by saying don't take yourself so personally. But we can get into that conversation next time.
Yeah. Yes, I don't want to sidetrack your format or whatever. But whatever you.
Like I said, I'm just honoring people's times, and I'll read the room, and I feel people getting itchy, so I don't have a problem with that. I am picking up something from you for up here, which, if you know anything about chakras, it's on that line between throat and heart. Doesn't necessarily mean that there's a physical problem. I mean, we could say there's a top lobe problem on your lung, and we need to go and check that out, or there's something going on with your chest. No, this is actual.
It's funny because there was, since January, at least once a month, and I just went to my cardiologist, and there's nothing there. It's like muscular at this point, probably, but I'm going for a stress test for it because it's exactly there.
Okay.
At least once a month. And so it's funny you said that you picked up on that. Yeah.
And it tends to happen when you are overextended.
No, it doesn't. It does. I'm not overextended. I'm a pretty.
Oh, you want to tell the person that watched you check your time that statement?
That was only briefly. That was only a glimmer. But I'm really, in general, my life is not too stressful relative to what a lot of people go through.
Hildy, Karen, and Willow all know me for quite a while now, and they know my sense of humor.
Oh, okay.
I can see Hildy on camera laughing in the background, chuckling because she's like, "Oh, there he is."
So Hildy and Karen, are you both Dutch? I heard Hildy's, you're muted, but I heard your accent and I thought I heard Karen speak before and it sounded Dutch.
Wrong
I'm
button.
Flemish. She's Dutch.
Flemish, sorry.
And Karen
No
just posted
problem.
in the chat that yes, she is Dutch.
Okay, very nice. Because she knew Andrea is that pronunciation is from my German heritage. So,
And Willow, who's hiding in the background, which I told her she could.
it's fine.
She used to work with me,
Oh, okay.
and she used to avoid when I would start smiling or turn my hat backwards at work. So
What? I don't understand that.
it was a warning that I would give before I started really diving into myself and working on releasing and expanding and heightening my awarenesses, especially for myself. But I would get triggered, and it would happen around the same time, and I would warn people. It was sad that I had to warn people that I was triggered so that they could avoid me. But my warning was I would take my hat and turn it backwards.
Mm.
But they had to ask, because it could have one of two meanings. It could either mean that I was overheating, because wearing a hat traps all that heat in a hot environment, just not healthy. So they would have to ask, are you hot or overheat or triggered? And then if the smile came out,
That was the code.
run. Because I was doing everything I could to hold it together and everything was wonderful. And it was kind of creepy.
Yeah, that is definitely a.
It was kind of creepy. But it was the only way that because being transparent with where I'm at is something that I try and do, because I want people to understand that if I get angry towards them and not at them, because there's a huge difference. I can be triggered by something that somebody says or does, and I get angry towards them. But if they are directing and causing, then I'm angry at.
Not my watch. I'm dog and house
I
sitting
saw.
2 little dogs, and they're like trying to get my attention now. So
That's typically my cue on Phoenix Talks that it's time to wrap up.
when pets in the background start getting antsy.
Yes. So I'm actually going to take the cue, and thank you guys for joining. I hope that it interested you. Oh, there she
There
is.
she is.
Miss Beautiful. I love her smile. She gives the world's best hugs, which I haven't gotten in a while. Hint, hint.
Hi, Willow. My favorite name. Love that. I actually named a house I rented years ago Willows and made a sign for it. And I had a cat named Willow. And if anybody would have agreed, I would have named my first daughter Willow. Good name.
So I saw you popped on camera as I'm starting to sign up. Did you decide that you have a question? Okay. All right. But thanks, guys. And if you're watching the replay, the link is going to be below in the description. So you can click that link, join at any time. The dates will be every 14 days, starting today, October 11th. Oh no, well, October 13th. I don't know why I got the 11th just stuck in my head this year, but it's October 13th. So the next one is going to be the weekend before Halloween. And I'm going to keep it at this time just because it's easier for world clock for people that are across the seas to be able to join as well. And don't forget, this video is the introduction. The others you won't be able to see unless you subscribe. So if you liked what you saw today, please hit that subscribe button or click that link below. Oh, and subscribe to my YouTube channel because there's a lot more to come.
Absolutely.
And everybody that came on and was on camera today with me and joined in the conversation. I really appreciate you. I hope you guys have a great week and great rest of the evening. And we will
Thank you.
talk soon.
Thank
Goodbye.
you so much. Have a great day. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.